I said this in a previous video last week, and I'll say it again. If you're going to be a Palantir shareholder, you have to deal with negative coverage around the company because there are people covering this company that don't understand what the company does. And to be honest, I don't fully blame them because I understand how complicated of a company it is. It took me a good 150 videos from November till January, November 2021 till January 2022, until I could say I honestly get what they do. Even if I don't get all the technical stuff, I can explain it on a macro level, and I can explain their growth trajectory, their potential. I can answer all the objections people have. Like, it took me a good 3 months of really understanding it and fully getting into it. Well, a lot of the reporters that report for mainstream outlets, they don't understand Palantir. It's why I created dailypalantir.com. It's one of the niche websites that I think on the internet can actually curate good arguments and bear and bull cases for Palantir, but actually give information that is coming from someone who understands Palantir. That's why it's not called dailystocks.com. It's called Daily Palantir because I don't cover all stocks, but I understand how to at least go super, super deep about Palantir. Well, when people cover the company, they're looking for clicks. And I don't blame them. It's the media business. They're looking for clicks. But the question is, at what point are you going to find clicks and just be wrong? Palantir, the all-seeing U.S. tech company, could soon have the data of millions of NHS patients. My response, yikes. Arwa Madhavi has written an article in The Guardian against this. Let's read the article and let's respond to it. You might never have heard of tech billionaire Peter Thiel, CIA-backed analytics company, but it could know all about you if it wins a contract to manage NHS data. She's talking about the NHS contract. That's the new federated data platform. It's about $360 million. The NHS is looking to give to a bidder. Peter Thiel is a terrible case of RBF, reclusive billionaire face. Wow. What does the word reclusive mean? Already starting with big words. What does reclusive mean? Avoiding the company of other people. Solidarity. Okay. Interesting. I'm not being deliberately mean-spirited, just stating the indisputable fact that the tech entrepreneur, co-founder of PayPal doesn't exactly give off feel-good vibes. There is a reason why pretty much every mention of Thiel tends to be peppered with adjectives such as secretive, distinct, and haughty. Again, another word. What the hell does haughty mean? Well, how many words is she going to use here? Haughty, arrogantly superior. Yeah, the guy is definitely arrogantly superior. I don't know if that's the worst quality in the world, though. He has cultivated an air of malevolent mystique. It's all too easy to imagine him sitting in a futuristic panopticon torturing kittens and plotting how to overthrow democracy. Really? Torturing kittens. Okay, so we know how the article is going to start. It's all too easy to imagine that scenario because apart from torturing the kittens parts, obviously, okay, so she was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't say that. That is basically how the 54-year-old billionaire spends his days. Thiel was famously one of Donald Trump's biggest supporters. While it is hardly unusual for billionaires to throw money at conservative politicians, Thiel is notable for expressing disdain for democracy and funding far-right candidates. As the New York Times warned in a recent profile, Thiel's wealth could accelerate the shift of views once considered fringe to the mainstream while making him a new power broker to the right. While he isn't pumping money to far-state politicians, Thiel is busy accelerating the surveillance state. So, before we continue, whatever you think about Thiel, you think about Thiel. I'm not here to comment on his political views. I'm here to comment on what does his political views mean for Palantir and how does Palantir, the company itself, operate outside of Peter Thiel. And unfortunately, a lot of people, they are not. It's like, Kanye West has said some wild things, right? He said some wild things, but you're able to separate the music, the art, from the artist because the artist is a very flawed, complex Byzantine individual. And whether you're an entrepreneur, you're an artist, your political views, your social views, your Democrat, a lot of these things are fundamentally skewed in multiple directions based upon different experiences. And also you are differentiated from the rest of the world. So you tend to have differentiated opinions. Well, your art, I don't think necessarily should be judged based upon just what you are as an individual person. Because if we did that, we can never enjoy art ever because humans are always flawed that make them. So I think starting this up with like this ad hominem attack against one of the co-founders of Palantir and then saying the company itself is a product of all the negative ways that they portray the individual, I think that's a mistake. In 2004, the internet entrepreneur founded a data analytics company called Palantir, which has been backed by the venture capital arm of the CIA. What dark magic Palantir does with data is a bit of a mystery. It's a mystery because you haven't done research on it. It is a mystery because you haven't done research on it because it's not really a mystery. And they've done not a great job publicizing it's not a mystery, but they put out a wealth of content showing that it's not mystery. And you're an idiot if you just don't get what it is. If you think it's a mystery, I'm saying an idiot not in a negative way. I'm saying like you just haven't read, that you're ignorant. You have not read about it. It has worked with F1 racing, sold technology to the military, partnered with the Space Force, and developed predictive policing systems. And while no one is entirely sure about the extent of everything Palantir does, the general consensus seems to be that it has access to a huge amount of data. Soon, it might be even getting more. The Financial Times reported that Palantir is gearing up to become the underlying data operating system for the NHS. In recent months, it's poached top executives. Yes, that's true. Once Palantir is in, how are you going to remove them? One source with the knowledge told FT. How worried should we all be about this? So this comes to our analysis. Well, according to one school of thought, consternation about the... She'd be using these big-ass words, bro. No one knows what the hell these mean. Like, did you know what that word means? Consternation. Feelings of anxiety. Okay. This is interesting. I'm sure she did well in the SAT or something. Consternation about the potential partnership is misplaced. There is a line of argument that is just a dull IT deal that people are getting worked up over because they don't like the fact that Thiel gave a bunch of money to Trump. And to be fair, even if you think Thiel is a creepy dude with creepy beliefs, it's important to know that he's not the only guy in charge of Palantir. Alex Karp, who is still the CEO, he voted for Hillary Clinton. I'm happy she mentions this, that there is also a progressive person who is running the literal company on the day-to-day. My school of thought, meanwhile, is best summarized as yikes. Anyone who has had any experience in the abysmal U.S. healthcare system should be levy of private American companies worming their way into the NHS, particularly when the current UK government would privatize its own grandmother if the price was right. I don't know exactly what Palantir wants with the NHS, but I do know it's keeping an eye on you. It's certainly keeping an eye on you. That's it? That was the article? Wait, I thought this stuff was... Oh my God, this is really bad. This is a really bad article. Well, this is the first time I'm reading it, by the way, guys. I have not read this before. I thought you see all this text at the bottom. I thought this is just the Guardian's plug to subscribe. I thought that was more content. All right, so let's talk about it. Number one, and it's important to sort of break down these articles and talk about it because if I don't do it and other creators don't do it, then it's gonna not get broken down by everyone. Look, here are the couple of problems with this. Number one, there's not an argument being made in this article. I did competitive debate in high school. I was the top 7 debater in the United States, top 3 public speakers in Europe. I was one of 9 people selected on the national USA debate team to represent the entire country for debate. I traveled to Croatia, Germany, Slovenia, traveled to many states across the United States. I understand about what it takes to make an argument and debate. If you're making an essay, an article, a video, at the end of the day, you're presenting an argument. The argument was not presented. The argument was Thiel likes Trump, therefore Palantir is bad. Or, by the way, Karp is also progressive, so I can't fully blame Palantir on being ultra alt-right because of Thiel. Also, the UK wants to privatize things, therefore I wouldn't trust Palantir with your data. No analysis about what the company does. No analysis about the actual technology behind their data. No analysis about how they don't own the data. They create shovels in order for companies, institutions, organizations, governments to know what to do with the data. No analysis about the civil liberties. No analysis about how they were created after 9/11 in conjunction with the CIA because they wanted to stop another attack from happening by protecting civil liberties, not by just having a mass surveillance state. And this is true about Palantir because that's why they've continued to work with the United States government. That's why they've been able to work with the European countries. The fact that they're getting European clients, and Europeans are the biggest, GDPR regulations is an example on privacy and ethics. The fact that they're able to land those contracts, the fact that they're working in Ukraine, I mean, that wasn't even mentioned. They're hopefully stopping a really bad war from occurring or even getting worse. None of that stuff is mentioned. And that's because whatever her name is has not done the research. I don't say that to be mean. I actually just forgot what her name is. And, this is the thing about people covering Palantir. This is why I think dailypalantir.com needs to be a mainstream website. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to put out cover, it's like Tesla Roddy with Tesla, right? There's so much nonsense that people said about Tesla before Tesla became Tesla. You needed those independent blogs to say, hey, no, here's what's actually going on. And that's the beauty of social media and content creation. It's like it decentralizes and it democratizes the capacity for individuals to share and show their viewpoints across the world. And, that's why I just hope the blog keeps getting bigger and we can create more content, because when you have The Guardian, which has a big reach, I mean, The Guardian gets hundreds of millions of people coming back every month. You get an article like that, it's probably reached tens of thousands of people already. And already, even if they didn't read the article, they see the headline, because most people see the headline and they're like, oh, shadowy spy firm, alt-right Palantir. I'm never going to buy their stock. I'm going to be afraid of them. I'm going to be I'm going to be scared of what they do. Brand recognition is not high for Palantir, and brand feelings are not high when those types of articles come out. The article didn't have an argument, and at the end of the day, I respect you if you have an argument, and we can have a healthy debate around the argument. There is no argument. There's ad hominem attacks, and then it's like, this company is the worst company in the world, and it's like, you don't know why. No mention about how they stopped human trafficking. No mention about they helped the World Food Program. No mention about how most vaccines in the United States and North America and the UK were distributed because of their software in a timely, efficient, productive manner. No analysis on how they're helping us get to net zero, because to get to net zero, you have to deal with the big data problem, and they've just partnered with institutions to be able to actually track carbon emissions. None of that stuff is mentioned because this person doesn't know anything about it. So it's just a joke at the end of the day for framing the company in a type of way when you don't actually know what they do. And if you don't actually know what they do, then you probably shouldn't talk about them. But this is eventually what journalists are going to do. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you think of the article. If this is the first time you're hearing the article because I read it on this video, then let me know your thoughts on it, because the first time I read it, I planned to read it live. I thought it was going to be a longer video reading it, but there wasn't much that they said at the end of the day. Thank you guys for listening. Looking forward to your comments. I'll see you in the next one.